So this is the first turn of June 44, be the 6th of June, of course. This is the invasion turn, so it's played slightly differently, just to allow for the unique aspects of the invasion. This might be a little hard to see, but here are the Sword, Beach, Juno Beach, Gold, Omaha, and Utah, and the historic units are going to land at the historic locations. The airborne, 101st and 82nd, are split up into regiments. Essentially, they're going to be flipped over to this abstracted side with the parachute on it, thrown into a cup, jumbled up, and then they'll be placed on the map. So it just simulates the airdrop confusion. So there are the 6 airdrop locations. So we'll just put our units at random. And then in the coming combat phase, they'll be flipped over. The British 6th Airborne is placed over here near Caen. See, we have 3 regiments and 2 hexes. We put 2 units down, and the third one is placed based on a die roll. So we roll the die, and we got a 1, and that means we put it in hex 2402. Now, that is going to be right here. That means we got 2 regiments here and 1 there. Now we have these beach defenses that were randomly placed all along the attack areas. So we'll go ahead and start to flip those over and reveal their values. That's a 2 on Utah, very strong defense. 1 on Omaha. 2 on Omaha. Someone's going to take the worst of it. 1 on Gold. Looks like Juno's going to be the one to get the real headache on the landing. They got the 3. Ooh, and Sword as well. So it looks like the Commonwealth are going to take the beatings while the Americans are going to have an easier time of it. So this will effectively be the beginning of a special combat round. So it means we'll reveal our paratroopers here. The British and the Americans. Well, by some fluke, all of the airborne will actually land together. Believe it or not, those were chosen at random. Now, the net effect is that they'll be able to recombine into their full division counter pretty easily, whereas quite often they are spread out and it's hard to get them back together. Now, this being the invasion turn, there are special beach attacks that take place on the first turn. Basically, we can designate each attack. We can apply naval points to the attacks where we think we need some help. And then we can conduct the first phase of an attack. If we can clear a beach, great. If not, we have a second combat phase. And then if we clear the beaches, we can move on to the beaches. Now, the combat is actually kind of interesting in this game. Both sides actually roll on the combat results table. So it's kind of a simultaneous combat. So we're going to start here at Sword Beach. We are going to apply a naval point. That's 1 combat factor. We have 4 and 1 here for the Armored Brigade, for a total of 6 combat factors. And we have 3 for the beach defense. So each side will roll on the combat results table. +3 for the British here, and -3, since the differential is 3, for the Germans. So this is the table. Here's the -3 column, and there's the +3 column. So the Allies roll a 6, which on +3 is a hit, and the Germans roll an 8, which on -3 is also a hit. So that means both sides take a casualty. So back here at the point of attack, that means the beach defense is destroyed, and the Allies must take a casualty. Now we'll move to our next attack here at Juneau. We're going to also use a naval point. So that's 5 plus 1 plus naval point is 7 minus 3, so that's a 4. So we'll roll on the +4 and the -4. The Allies roll a 3, which is a miss. And the Germans roll a 4, which is also a miss. So they will have to go to the next round of combat in order to try to clear that beach. So while we're here, we'll do the gold beach attack. So we're not going to use a naval point since they already have a big advantage over that weaker beach defense. So that'll be the +4 and the -4 again. So the Allies roll a 4, which is a hit. But the Germans roll a 9, which is also a hit. So we destroy the beach defense, but again we take a casualty here. We're going to deplete that armored brigade since it's the weaker unit. Let's go look at the American beaches. So we'll have 3 more attacks here. Omaha has 2 beaches, and then Utah has 1. So the first one here is a +3 advantage. So we rolled a 9 for the Allies, that's a hit. And we rolled a 6 for the Germans, and that's a miss. So that means we destroy the beach defense. And now we have a +4 here. Rolled a 0 for the Allies, which is actually a 10 in this one, the 10-sided dice. So that's a hit, and we rolled a 6, and that's a miss. So Omaha was a walkover. I'm sure the guys who were there wish that were so. Now we have 1 more attack up here at Utah. We're going to use a naval point, our last naval point for that. So that'll be 6 attack factors against 2, +4 and -4 differentials. We rolled a 1 for the Allies, that's terrible. And we rolled a 9 for the Germans. So unfortunately, 4th Infantry takes a casualty. So now we're going to go on to the second round of the combat here. And we'll stick here with Utah. This isn't going to be very good. It's going to be a +1 and a -1. So we need a massive roll here. Well, good for us. The Americans rolled a 9 on their +1, which is a hit. And the Germans rolled a 1, which is a miss. So the final beach defense there for the Americans is cleared. Now we could be attacking with our paratroopers as well. But for the Americans, I think I want to avoid those attacks. This unit can't move, so I don't care about killing him right away. So if we get a free movement, 1 hex move, after the combat phases are ended. So I'm going to just try to position my airborne in spots where I can block German counterattacks. Similar situation for the British 6th Airborne. They could try to attack that unit, but the terrain is not very advantageous. So they're going to just try to stack up and hold the canal zone here, that bridge. But we do have 1 final attack to resolve, and that's here at Juneau Beach. So we have 5, 1, 6, 3, so it's a +3, -3. And the Allies roll a very high number, an 8, so that's a hit. Germans roll a 5, which is a miss. So we managed to get the Canadians ashore. That's the end of that special 2-phase combat round. Now we can move all Allied units 1 hex. That's including units attacking beaches can move on to the beaches. So we'll stay right here around Con. First we're going to move our airborne 1 hex. I think I'm going to hold that end of the bridge and move each of these guys right here to hold that end. Since we have sword right in our face right here, we'll go ahead and move those guys right onto the beach. We'll land the Canadians at Juneau and the British 50th here, Gold. We got the American 1st and 29th, and just put them right there. The beach landings are boring, they just go there, but now these airborne units I want to shift around to try to take advantage of the terrain and block some attacks here. So I'm going to move the 82nd here and there. Sorry. Put a little defensive ring around there. And then the 101st. Largely I'm trying to block roadways. I don't want anyone running up on my vulnerable beach there. So that's the Allied portion of the first turn. Now the Germans get to move all of their units the full amount. But there is no combat for the German side. They just get to position units. So we have to take a look around here to see what we can really do. We have this cavalry brigade here that we can move forward. We have around the beaches, obviously the 91st is stuck there. Just about everybody is kind of stuck here and where they are. The 352nd, obviously, I think we're going to try to move them to try to block the advances here. So I think we will move him 2 hexes right to there. Shifting. We have 7/16, which I think will move up. And the last unit we really have is the 21st Panzer. Since we don't have a lot of forces, I'm not really keen on abandoning Khan. So I think I'm going to leave him there. So really our only move, I think, of consequence is going to be that cavalry unit there. You know, it's hard to see, but this is all like hedgerow country. So it's very costly to move through. It's 3 movement points. So the advantage of being on a road is that that negates that extra movement point cost, and it only costs 1. So we're going to move 30th here into that little town, Senlo. I think that'll be the end of the German movement here for this first turn. So that's the special invasion turn. Kind of gets things going, gets the Allies on the beach. Now it will proceed with more of a standard movement combat, turn sequence.